This is the Jewish settlement of Shiloh in the northern West Bank. Less than a year ago, the future of this place seemed uncertain because Israel's Prime Minister Ehud Olmert was planning a disengagement from the Palestinians. And if you look across these hills, you can see this settlement is surrounded by Palestinian villages. Now, though, that disengagement plan is on ice. And my guest today is a resident here, and he speaks for the settler movement. So is the tide of history running with or against the Jewish settlers? Yisrael Medad, welcome to Hard Talk.
Thank you very much.
You've lived in this place, Shiloh, for 26 years, but you know that your government is now committed to the idea that this place will have to be abandoned as part of a two-state peace agreement with the Palestinians. So do you feel politically vulnerable now?
Well, I think we've always had a feeling of vulnerability, being anxious at times. However, governments come and go. And as you noted, 26 years we're still here. We've developed, we've grown. We have a third generation here already. We've seen that an abandonment of land down in Gaza has not solved any of the problems, and eventually we hope that the majority of the Israeli voting public will give us the right to continue to live here.
Governments come and go, you say, but the key change now is that it is, first it was Ariel Sharon, now it's Ehud Olmert. It is politicians steeped in the tradition of the Likud nationalist right who have now decided that places like Shiloh cannot be sustained as part of the Jewish state.
Well, people are in error at times, and I think the longer they try to move their mistaken policies, I think the larger electorate will say that something is very wrong here. The more the Palestinians give up their opportunities, the more they turn to terror. I think it will become clearer to the Israeli voting public and perhaps even European and American populations that the conflict here is not going to be solved by the giving up of land or a retreat from the communities that we've built.
You refer to what you call Palestinian terror. You refer to what you see as chaos in Gaza since the pullback from there. But I put it to you that that has made no difference to the vision of Prime Minister Ehud Olmert, who on February the 21st told reporters, quote, "I am absolutely loyal to the position I expressed before the last election. There should be a two-state solution. The Palestinians should have a contiguous territory in the West Bank where they'll be able to live their own independent, secure lives in their own state." Now this is a politician who, I imagine, just a few years ago, you regarded as a loyal ally.
True. But Mr. Olmert already 2 years ago in a policy statement in New York said that Israel is tired of fighting, tired of winning. And tired politicians leave the scene quicker than those who are more vigorous. Everything that Mr. Olmert has done in the past year and a half or so has been a failure. And so it's sooner rather than later that we expect him to leave the political scene. Whether he goes to jail or whether he just simply is voted out of office is a question that he will have to answer, not us. We are very confident that the vision that we have promoted, that we are involved in, of Jews returning to their historic homeland is the correct vision for the State of Israel and for peace and security in the region.
This isn't just about Mr. Olmert, though, is it? It is about the entire political and military establishment in Israel, which believes there is no long-term sustainable future for places like this. I refer you to, again, a man that I am sure over the years you have had a great deal of respect for, Shaul Mofaz, defense minister, just a year ago, who outlined his vision of what might be defensible as Jewish settlements across the Green Line in occupied land. Now, he came up with several blocks, I believe about half a dozen settlement blocks, that he said he would endeavor to fight for, to retain for Israel. But this place was not one of them.
I cannot disagree with you. Ever since 1967, there have always been a large political opinion that says that Israel should not be here, that the Jewish civilians should not be here. And we are here. We're going to be, another few months, 40 years in this area. Jewish activity here in terms of returning to the land and building communities started up almost immediately. Since there were no communities here or any Jewish civilians here before 67, and yet there was terror, I don't see any logical link between a Jewish presence and the solving of the situation.
Let's stick to the immediate future for this place, because of course settlers said they wouldn't leave Gaza. They said that they would resist. They said they would find ways of staying inside Gaza. But they went. They went because the government told them they had to go. And that will happen here too.
I don't think so. They will happen here. I think everybody knows it was a mistake to leave Gaza. Situations, though, are different. Gaza was, I think, a different demographic situation on the ground there.
Most Israelis don't think it was a mistake to leave Gaza.
I don't think so. I think that...
Well, you read the opinion polls, you know that most Israelis felt that there was no point in Jewish settlers making any sort of claim on land inside the Gaza Strip.
I think the people that do say that are minority opinion.
Are you saying that if the government attempts to close this down, get you out of here, you will resist?
I think we have a democratic right to resist, of course, and to protest, and to gain political strength from the other side to offset any sort of a government position. That's democracy, and I think that we're here because of democracy. I think we're here because of former government decisions placing us here, recognizing the fact that this is part of the Jewish national homeland. I don't think we have to go to resolve the situation, though.
Well, let's talk about that claim, that legitimacy that you say underpins your presence here. Let's be straightforward about this. On what basis do you believe you can claim legitimate, lawful ownership of the land beneath our feet?
The highest international body of the world in 1923, the Supreme Council of the League of Nations recognized the right of the Jews to reconstitute the national homeland, historic national homeland, in this area between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea. We have consistently, all through that period of time, both pre-state and afterwards, given up territory in a vain hope that this compromising position will give our enemies, those who do not want us to live here, the understanding that we want to share and we're willing to compromise. That hasn't worked. I think that decision, based on religious, legal, and historical reality, says that a Jew living in Shiloh here is the most natural thing for a Jew to do.
But that is a very long answer, but let's just be simple about this. You believe you have a claim here based on the fact that thousands of years ago Jews lived, actually not here, but very close to here, that there is a big